Welcome in, Iowa Hawkeye fans, to another episode of the Hawkeye Tailgate Report. I am Luke Myers. We got a whole cast today. We got Joey Myers, Austin Myers, and Sam Middleton. Fellas, welcome back to another week.
What it do, baby?
What it do, baby?
What it do, baby?
All right.
Happy birthday to me. LeBron, your baby. Blessings.
You mean
but not anymore because he's not 23, so.
Yeah.
Is it really your birthday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
It's my dad's birthday, too.
Oh,
It's my dad's birthday.
Holy fucking
wait,
shit.
what a wild show.
Goats only. Goats only.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ah,
so not a whole lot of Iowa news has happened in the last couple of weeks. Iowa football.
What the fuck, Tristan Wirfs? Sorry.
Whoa, easy spoilers. We were going to talk about that, but other than Iowa just slaying the recruiting game, shout out Deuce Hogan. But other than that, not a lot's happened. Gustafson's played a few WNBA games. He's done all right there. But we're going to start with by far the biggest news in the past couple of weeks, and that is the gold out jerseys for the October 12th game against Penn State. Instant reaction, fellas. What do we think?
Penn State's fucked.
Boing.
yeah. Penn State is going to lose that game conservatively 210-0.
For that,
In the first half.
Yeah, we're putting up 30 touchdowns in that game. You can
For
write
that
it up right now.
for that game, they should have a name change and just call themselves the Iowa Drip Gods because those are insane.
Okay, I have one critique on the jerseys. I love them. And I know the stripes on top are because of the old throwbacks or the old jerseys. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my only thing that I'm kind of like, I wish those weren't there.
I don't know. I like them.
I kind of like them. It gives it like an Oregon feel almost.
Yeah.
I like
I heard somebody say, I'll say that. And they need black cleats for that, not white.
Yeah.
They might as well have gone with the yellow helmet too.
Oh, I don't
The
know.
helmet's badass. No, the helmet's badass.
I-
Yellow mat. Mm.
I like the way I like the black helmet with the yellow face mask. Oh, that's probably my
Oh, it's
favorite
so
part
sweet.
of
They
the
need-
jersey.
They need to wear that every game.
Yeah, I think I don't know how you look at those uniforms and like aren't a little excited because like Iowa traditionally would not do. I mean, they throw alternates out there. 2 years ago against Ohio State, those were fire. But these ones are just. I love them. I've been wanting a gold out or a gold uniform for how long, and I didn't know why we didn't do it. I guess.
Well,
You're just waiting to bend Penn State over.
naturally, on Twitter, Nebraska and Iowa State fans were trashing them. Which, as I get it, you hate Iowa. How can you honestly look at that jersey and tell me that you don't like it? Like they're just hating to hate at that point.
Well, it's funny because last year Iowa State used an alternate uniform that wasn't even like any of their base colors. Remember they did like a blackout, like trying to copy.
And they were
Iowa.
cool. They were cool.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't know. They were just being little brother to Iowa last year when they brought out those black alternates. So I don't know.
And then-
they don't have a say because they don't use alternates very well.
You
Or
also had the
they're not original when they use them.
get off my lawn crowd on Facebook. The old people commenting about how they hated them, but what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
What the hell are those?
I feel like the older generations would have liked that because you grew up like if you grew up around the '90s and watched like those teams play, they wore those uniforms, the black uniforms with the gold feathers on top, and I thought those are pretty ugly. But I think I like the gold a lot more.
Those are ugly. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are bad. Yeah, I hated those.
Yeah, those are not good.
People want those back, and I'm like sitting there like,
Oh, no.
no.
Yeah, so
Uh.
I don't know. I'm a fan of the jerseys. I think consensus around here is we absolutely love them. I believe Joey called us Drip City or whatever. So
Drip Gods.
Drip Gods.
Drip.
Yeah,
But-
Something from that video release or that jersey release video, Iowa really should start incorporating like a live hawk more often than they do, because that's pretty awesome.
Picture this. They have right before the national anthem, Hawk comes flying down from the top of the Children's Hospital onto center field. That would be so badass.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
well,
Comes down
And it
maybe
shits on the opposing fans on the way down.
Yeah.
those like just that video, that Iowa video production department, I'd put them up against anybody in the United States. They just put out amazing video after amazing video, and they're probably not paid enough, but seeing Epi and Stanley holding that hawk during the video, even Brandon Smith looked like a freaking assassin in his gold uniform. He looked so damn good. I don't know. But that brings up to the next thing here. So we'll be wearing those for the October 12th Penn State game. Do you think Penn State stands a chance?
No.
You already heard my prediction, 210-0.
I also didn't think Wisconsin stood a chance in that night game, though.
Yeah, well.
But we didn't have jerseys. We didn't have alternate jerseys. So
alternate jersey Iowa is a different team.
yeah, you gotta count.
That's like flu game Jordan.
You gotta count the. Okay, so 3 points for home field advantage. You get maybe another couple for Kinnick just because they play really well when they're at home. And then
35 for Jersey.
Yeah, the Jersey situation has got to count for an easy 5 or 6 points. You would like to think. Ask Ohio State about that. But I think the players were even excited about it. Like, did you see before they released to the public the jerseys? They kind of released the video of like the players' reaction to it and whatnot.
Davion Nixon reacted exactly how I thought he would react.
It was just phenomenal. Like, all the players were so hyped about it, and like I mean, if you're a player, why not? I mean, Iowa traditionally has like pretty good looking uniforms with they're very old style, vintage, very clean. But I know a guy this week who goes to South Carolina, and he hey Sam, can you take it off your car speaker now? It's kind of making a lot of noise.
Yeah, I told you. I'm sorry.
It wasn't at first. It sounded fine at first. But anyway, this kid that goes to South Carolina, he said that Iowa's regular uniforms, the black ones, are trash. That is maybe the worst take I've ever heard in the world.
That's an awful take.
It's a very bad take.
Yeah,
That's maybe like that might be like just one of the best jerseys in the world. Like, just from a real basic standpoint, like just clean looking. I don't understand how you could think that that's a bad jersey.
That's a really terrible take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make more sense if that person was like going to like Iowa State or Wisconsin or Nebraska, but why are they?
I mean, we did beat the fuck out of South Carolina in like 2009.
Sean Green,
whatever,
baby.
Whenever it was.
2008, 2009 season. Yeah. Suck it, Steve Spurrier.
2008, yep.
But, yeah, so Penn State isn't going to win that game. I've never been more confident in my life. Has that been announced a night game yet?
They might as well.
No, it will be, for sure.
It will be.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be...
It's our best home game in the season. It better be a night game.
Yeah, that and Minnesota are the two best home games, but those games are back-to-back, and I don't think they will make both of them night games. But
I was looking at our schedule this year, and I didn't realize that we play all of our Big Ten West divisional games consecutively, which is wild. So, like, once we start playing the Big Ten, our Big West games, that's like we don't have any crossovers to break them up. It's straight through.
Huh.
Like the last 6 weeks of the season, that it's all the Big Ten West games.
Boy, that's gonna be a tough stretch. I mean,
it's interesting. But
yeah, it's very interesting. But we'll be moving on here now, and we're gonna talk about my favorite recruit, the future of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Deuce Hogan, and he was the first person to commit to the class of 2020, and Iowa's gotten an unreal amount of recruits in the month of June. And how much do you think Deuce has to do with that?
I'd say
I think it's a little bit. I wouldn't say it's as much as people think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's out there like talking to other recruits, like telling them good things about the Iowa program, but also Iowa just made a concerted effort to get a bunch of recruits this month. Like it was last weekend when the block party was going on in Iowa City. The football team had like 22 official visits lined up for that weekend, so they were definitely trying to get people in this month. But I'd say Deuce definitely deserves something. He's the better version of Eno Benjamin because he actually stuck it out with Iowa.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it makes me think that Deuce has a lot more to do with it than most people would think, because when Eno signed right away there, he had so many recruits coming in from the state of Texas to come play for the Hawkeyes. And kind of when he decommitted and whatever,
We kept the best one though.
Who?
Hankins.
Oh, Matt Hankins.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he was a good get there. But I was just gonna say something. Just totally left my mind. Oh, I was gonna talk about Eno Benjamin. Did you guys see his numbers from last season by chance?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
They were pretty good.
Anyway, what's the next topic?
Yeah. And that was talking former Hawkeye players.
I got $20 on him finishing top 10 in the Heisman race this year, so I'm gonna.
That's like AJ Epinesa is gonna finish top 10 in the Heisman.
AJ Epinesa is gonna win the Heisman.
Exactly.
All right. So next up here, we did an interview with Matthew Crawford, who is the general manager of the Iowa United basketball team for the basketball tournament. A good interview. Joey and I were the only people on the call.
I was so close to pulling the plug on the interview when he found out he's a State fan, but
that was my first question to him.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah,
I about called her off.
Yeah. No, it was really good, though, actually. He had a good time. We had a good time. So hope you enjoyed the interview here. Matthew Crawford right now. We'll be back after the interview with some more segments. Next up on the Hawkeye Tailgate Report, we got a very special guest. Joining me is Joey Myers for this interview, but it's Matt Crawford with Iowa United, part of the basketball tournament. Matt, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, so first things first, before we get into the nitty-gritty here, are you an Iowa State, Drake, or UNI fan? I saw you went to Iowa State.
I am a proud Iowa State alum, but, you it's like I've said before, you really don't even think about it. It doesn't even really cross your mind that, Iowa's the rival, Drake's, rival, UNI's the rival. It doesn't really even cross your mind on something like this, but yeah, I'm definitely an Iowa State alumni.
First of all, how did they? So there's all these different teams, and some of them are college, like individual colleges. I saw like Syracuse had a team, and other places, and then there's just the entire state of Iowa. Was there like guidelines for how you created your team, or how did that get going?
So we had been with it was called the Hilton Magic Legends the last couple of years in this tournament. It was just Iowa State alumni competing in it. And it's hard because, Iowa State's a school that's got, we don't have a ton of, the pool is not very big already. And the guys that were really good you'd want for something like this are already taken up by the NBA. Your Abdel Naders, your George Niangs, Monte Morris. We can't touch those guys. So one of the things I did after last year, literally as soon as that game got over, even a little bit before, was, I took out a pad of paper and I just wrote down. I wrote down about 20, maybe 25 Iowa State players and just said, okay, here is the pool of guys we have that we've either contacted, have played for us, are maybe available, that sort of thing. It's about 25. So out of that, let's say 20, something like that. So out of about that 20, you can take about 7 or 8 of those guys off because they're playing in the league right now. Deontay Burton is another example. We had another 4 that last year kind of, flaked out on us. And so, those are guys you don't really want to ask back. And so it really left you with about 8 or 9 guys as your pool. And to be honest with you, I love those guys. They're great guys. They're good players, but they can't compete in something like this together. They'd be good role players, but you would need them to actually be leaders and big time players, and they're just not those guys. So, that was kind of the basis of just saying, let's scrap it. Let's go do something else. And so, we kind of broke away from that team, and the staff came over for the most part. And we decided, and I thought, why don't we get all 4 schools together? It got 4 great fan bases here in the state of Iowa, that's passionate about basketball. Let's get guys from all 4 schools. Not only does it bring the state together, but it builds our pool up. We have a lot more guys to choose from. And so that was kind of the birth of that. And that was, like I said, that was right after the tournament last year. And we've been working on it literally every day since. So,
and you're the GM of the team. do you know by chance like the breakdown of like how many players went to Drake, Iowa State, whatnot?
Yeah. So one of the things, and I'll cover that. One of the things we also did was say that we would also take anybody that played high school ball here, that was a prominent high school player that maybe went out of state to play.
Mm-hmm.
So that does kind of open the door, gives us a little bit of wiggle room for a guy like Marcus Page, and he has. He's expressed some interest, to be honest with you. So, down the line, that'd be a great guy that we'd like to be able to call. So, kind of with that, Matt Tybee is that guy for us this year. He played at Urbandale High School. He went over to Wisconsin Milwaukee and is currently playing professional. Great stretch four guy. Just a great guy. He's a really interesting guy. So he's kind of the out-of-state guy. The Drake guys, I think we have three. We have Reed Timmer, Josh Young, and Nick McGlynn.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa, we've got Peter Jock, Nicholas Bear, and Cyrus Tate. And then Iowa State, we have Marcus Pfizer and Tyrus McGee. So I think did I get everybody? Did I leave anybody out? Is that 9? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
I think so.
I think so.
And head coach, of course, Jeff Horner, correct?
Yeah, Jeff Horner's come on. Jeff's been great, very engaged. He's been a great help. We text all the time, like, we could do this, we could do that. So he's been awesome, great guy, and he's been great to have.
Okay, now before we move on, I just want to drop this question in here. So before the WNBA draft, Megan Gustafson was part of the team.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
what is her involvement still, if there is any?
I don't think there probably will be, and that's great. That's exciting for us. So that kind of all came about. Really the second I heard that she got dropped by Dallas, I kind of was like, this might be kind of interesting, to add her. And I mean, it'd be great for us, great for her, give her another avenue, another platform. So we reached out to her, didn't get a whole lot of response because, it was a couple days after she was busy. And then, we actually reached out to Nicholas Bear, and I just said, hey, do you know her at all? I go, what do you think of this idea? And Nicholas loved it. And I go, well, would you mind reaching out to her and just saying, hey, will you give me 10 minutes just to chat with me? And she did, and she loved the idea and was all over it. But I told her, I go, I'm so happy that you're coming with us, and we're all thrilled. I go, but I really don't want to see you in Wichita. So she got a kick out of that. But that meant that she was playing professionally, and that's right where she's at, and that's been great to see. So unless Dallas does something crazy like cuts her, which I don't see happening because she is playing really well, she's going to be in the WNBA, and that's where she needs to be.
So if she were to get cut, she could play again, though. So it's only if you're currently playing professionally you can't play in this, right? Or is it?
So if you have a active NBA contract or WNBA contract, you can't play. Now it's a little, now two-way guys, two-way players can play in this. So a guy like Naz Long could play in it if he wanted to, but a lot of those guys, especially the young guys, they don't necessarily want to risk that right at this point, and we get that.
Right.
But yeah, if they have an active WNBA or NBA contract, they cannot play in a tournament like this.
Yeah.
All right. What did you have to recruit for this, or was there a group of people that were supposed to come in contact with these players, or how does that whole thing work?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you really do. It's kind of almost like you want to throw a party and you want to ask all the popular kids. You gotta, you kind of got to get those first couple are kind of going, all right, well, who else is coming to the party? And it's just kind of, some of it's just luck, playing a lot of basketball myself, you get to know certain players and you get to, get to know certain guys. So, one of the guys I got to know real well is a guy named Linrick Rogers. Linrick is, I think he's Drake's 5th all-time leading scorer, but he's real close with Peter Jock. I was already close with Tyrus, working with him last couple of years with the Hilton Magic Legends group. Mm-hmm. So those were kind of our first 2 phone calls, and those were kind of the anchors to this team to say, all right, this has some legitimacy. So having Linrick vouch for us and what we were trying to do, and Tyrus, kind of going over, and Tyrus didn't need a lot of selling, but we definitely had to talk to him about, okay, we understand how things ran the last couple of years. Me running this now, here's how this is going to change. Here's how this is going to be a little bit better for you guys. So, but yeah, getting those first two guys was big. And then it's kind of, guys kind of just fell into place, and, we made calls. And I haven't told the story on any other show or podcast. So we literally had one day during all of this where I called my staff and I go, seriously, if we don't get these guys today, and they were like, it was coming down to one day. If we don't get it, I think we're done. We can't go. And then in one day we had Bear, McGlynn, and Reed Timmer all come in on the same day.
Huh.
And so I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's, and sometimes that's how it goes. It came down to literally one day. If they would have told us, hey, we got this, that, and the other, we weren't going to do it. So, but no, we're thrilled. We're thrilled with the roster we got. But yeah, to answer your question in a long-winded form, yeah, you do have to do a little bit of recruiting because it's got to be worth their time. And I'll give you kind of an example for people that kind of watch a little casually. I mean, these guys at this level are going league to league to league. So it is, they're playing overseas in the league. Tyrus is playing in like 2 leagues over there. It's crazy. And then, they come back, they've got a little bit of time off. They might play summer league, and then they're right back at it. So, reach out to a guy like, Melvin Edgem from Iowa State's another good one. He likes the idea, but he's like, hey, I've got 2 months off to be with my family and do the things I got to do this summer. This is literally the only times off they have. Some of those guys just don't have the time. So you've got to make it worth their while to do this. And I think we've done a good job with that with some of our marketing stuff and things we've done social media wise for them. But there's a little bit of recruiting that's involved. That's for sure.
Before you went through and you listed off the players on the team, and you don't play until July 25th, correct?
Right.
Do you have any insight as to who the starting 5 might be, or can you?
I don't know. I told Coach Horner that. I go, really the way we've constructed this, and this is the way we wanted to do it, is we wanted we wanted some versatility. And so, I kind of set it around, and then our staff helped with this as well, just kind of in their contacts and helping in this. We really wanted to build a team around the idea that we wanted a lot of shooters, a lot of outside shooting, a lot of good guards. And then our inside presence, I wanted guys, because this was a little bit of the trouble the last couple of years with the Hilton Magic Legends team, is we just got pushed around everywhere. And I didn't want that to happen again. So, you go get a Marcus Spicer, grown man. He's not going to get pushed around. You go get Nick McGlynn. He's a defensive player of the year in the Missouri Valley. He's not going to get pushed around. Cyrus Tate is a bulldog. He's not going to get pushed around. Tybee. If you guys see Matt Tybee, nobody's pushing Matt Tybee around. So that was kind of the model that we wanted to kind of take a look at. Is we wanted real deadly outside shooters and an inside presence that was a little bit can be mean, and that's kind of what we have. So we'll see how that plays out.
Do you have any players you're looking forward to seeing on the floor again?
It's it'll be interesting to see, and I've said this a couple times, that it's neat to see the roster. It'll be completely a little bit surreal to see this actually these five guys roll out there. I anticipate your Josh Young will be a starter. I don't really know who's going to be started by. What I was going to tell you was I told Coach Honer, I go, I don't know who you're going to start, because you've got some versatility here. You can go big, you can go small, you can throw out 4 shooters, you can do a whole lot of things. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see if this plays out. Josh Young, Peter Jock, and Tyrus McGee as your backcourt. Just all those 3 schools, those guys, and then you're gonna probably Nick McGlynn will be in there. I can't imagine he wouldn't be. And Tybee, I'd imagine. So if I'm just spitballing, but I don't know. And then I've told Coach Horner, this is your team. I'm just helping you put together. You play who you want. I'm not looking over your shoulder. So whoever he wants to put in there is who he's going to put in there.
And I was looking at some of the teams before the interview, and a lot of the other teams, I didn't really recognize many of the people, might be because I'm young or I'm out of state for a lot of those, and I did recognize a lot of the people on the Iowa team, and I think that you guys stack up fairly well against the other teams. How do you think you stack up against the other teams?
Pretty good. There's going to be a couple things that work a little bit against us. Is that we, for the most part, other than Tyrus, we don't have a ton of experience in this. So some of these guys, especially the young ones, they're just out of college, like the Nick McGlynn's and the Nick Bear. The guys that are showing up to this are grown men. I mean, they're playing professionally, a lot of them. So this tournament has really evolved from being almost, hey, we're going to go get 5 good rec league guys and try to play in this, to where now every team has overseas professionals on it. So one of the things that is going to be a challenge for us is to understand that, hey, these guys coming in, you don't understand how incredibly hard they're going to play. They don't want to waste their time either, traveling all over and being away from their families to not play hard. And so we're going to have to, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us, I think. Not that I don't think our guys will play hard, but just understanding the other teams are going to be out there, are going to be really playing hard. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. You're spitting out some good knowledge to the fans right now, so that's all that really matters. Looking at the bracket, there's seeded 1 through 8. How were the seeds decided?
Okay, so that's the tough part, I think, for the tournament, is because you don't have a season to watch a team's play. So they've got to just kind of base it off of who they do know. They're not going to know everybody. But a little bit of it is storyline. And so when you see, like we've got a 7 seed. Now, the margin between a 1 and an 8 in this kind of tournament is not very much. It really isn't, because everybody's got overseas guys. Everybody's, for the most part, pretty on par. You're going to have 3 or 4 outliers that are really good. So the seeding process is almost more storyline than it is anything. And if you look at like our situation, we're one of only 2 teams, or one of only 2 games that are going to be featured in the opening round on ESPN. Now, we're playing Wichita State, who's at home. You're going to want to put them on TV because it's a packed house. They're selling a lot of tickets. And I really believe one of the reasons we got in is because our story is a little bit unique in that, we're the only place bringing in all 4 schools from a state. We're Iowa United. We're bringing in the entire state of Iowa to cheer on one team. So that's a good story. Kansas has got an alumni team, and they're going to be playing Sideline Cancer. Another good story. So when you look at the seating, you got to take it a little bit with a grain of salt, because they want to sell tickets. They've got to develop these stories, and we think we have a good one, and obviously we do, because we got selected for that.
All right. Now, if you just had to take a shot in the dark here, what do you think Iowa's chances are of making a little bit of a run in this tournament?
You never know. I mean, it's basketball. Guys can get hot. I mean, that's the reason we got these shooters, because we're going to try to hit home runs. We're not going in there, with guys that aren't going to do that. We got guys that can shoot, and we're going to take our shot at it. But you never know. If things go right, you can make a little run in a thing like this. So yeah, I like our chances. I mean, we all do. That's why we're all doing this. So, but like I said, a lot of this becomes beyond the basketball part of it. If you followed us kind of socially a little bit, it's kind of what we do with these guys. Socially, marketing them a little bit, causes they're involved in, fan interaction, hype videos, that sort of thing. So we've really kind of focused, and we're the only team that does it this way. If you look up and down in these teams, and we've really kind of tried to focus more on these guys leading up to the tournament, to kind of get their name out there, get to know them a little bit better. Because we think that's fun for the fans. I mean, you think of any sport, any team that you like, the more you know the kind of the players a little bit, the more of a fan you typically are. So that's been kind of one of our plans for the beginning, is to do it that way. But yeah.
Okay, and then one last question before we let you go here. How can fans get involved? Because that's like a big portion of the basketball tournament is fans can kind of buy portion of the team and like support them throughout that.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of, we're kind of past the part where, not that we don't enjoy the support, but, following us on Twitter is great, because, we're kind of past the point where we need votes to get in, that sort of thing. So, right now, I mean, if they want to follow us on Twitter, that's great. We have a meet and greet coming up next month. That would be great if people want to come out and support that. We're going to be doing that on July 23rd, and that is going to be at Uptown Garage Brewing in Ankeny, Iowa, and that's at 305 Southwest Walnut Street in Ankeny, and that's going to be July 23rd from 6 to 8. So it's a free event. You can bring family, friends, kids, come out and get autographs, take pictures, whatever you want to do. But it's going to be a free event. It's a brand new brewery. It's a fantastic place. And so that'll be a lot of fun. And one of the causes we've kind of gotten behind that we kind of brought along with us this year is a group called For the Veterans, FORE, For the Veterans. And they're a nonprofit here in Iowa that gets our military veterans out for free rounds of golf. So your veterans that deal with PTSD, health issues, anything like that, and even if they don't have any of those issues, they're just a veteran. You can give these guys a call and they'll get you out for a free round of golf with your brothers and sisters, and just kind of a great environment for those guys to kind of open up and chat with each other about the kind of the issues they deal with. So those guys will also be there. That's a great organization. If you can go to their Facebook and take a look at them as well. So that'll be a great way for our fans to kind of thank our fans for the help that they've given us so far this year, is to come out to that 6 to 8 on July 23rd at Uptown Garage in Ankeny.
All right, Joey, do you have any other questions for the man? Otherwise, we'll let him move on with his evening.
No,
I'm not doing anything, man. This is it. I'm done.
But their Twitter page, Iowa United's Twitter page is Iowa TBT. So go follow them on Twitter. Only 1,400 followers right now. We can get that number up. We got to get that number up. First game is July 25th, as we mentioned, at 8 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. So I know I'll be tuning in to watch some of my favorite former players play some basketball, and hopefully the Iowa team can put together a nice little run. Matt, thanks for joining us on the show.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks again to Matthew Crawford for coming on. Fun interview there. Make sure you cheer on Iowa United coming up here at the end of July 25th on ESPN, 8 o'clock Central Time. Hopefully hopefully some former Hawks can help make some noise there. It does kind of suck that Gustafson won't be able to play in that, but I mean, it's great for her that she's on a WNBA roster at this point. But we'll pick it up now, and unfortunately we have a Iowa Hawkeye football player getting in trouble with the law. Granted, it's a stupid law that should not be in existence, but Tristan Wirfs got busted on Saturday night, so what was that, June 29th, for being in a bar past 10 p.m. as a minor.
What a joke.
Yeah, who wants to start by ripping this law apart?
I want to start.
Okay, I'll go second.
And I'm mad at Tristan because, one, you are 6'6", 300 pounds. Everyone knows who you are. Like, why even put yourself in the situation? But on the other hand, fuck that officer, you dick Cyclone fan. Because what the hell? Why? Like, and I read this on the board. It's like, Tristan, there's no way they would have just cited him if he was just hanging out with his buddies. He was doing something. But he probably threw him a bone by not giving him a Paula. So, but again, fuck the officer. But Tristan, what the fuck? Also, yes, really dumb rule. That's a second offense on the team. So I'm thinking like a half, maybe a whole game. It shouldn't.
Full game.
But you know how Kirk is. Who do we play first? Doesn't matter.
Miami, Ohio.
Step in Mark Kallenberger. Kallenberg, sorry, not Berger. Sorry.
Well, from a sheer financial standpoint, he probably would have been better off getting a Paula. because our younger brother got presents on premise a couple months ago, and it was what, $460.
What an absolute fuck job.
It's a host job.
Yeah, what? Oh, that's just absurd that they can charge. And when Danny got his, they were pulling like 4 kids out at a time. They were just rolling in the dough that night. And it's not like most of them were doing anything stupid, you know? Oh, that's absurd.
Joey, didn't you read you told me like a pretty funny tweet that you saw the other day. It was like, Iowa City Police Department from 2 a.m. until 10 p.m. to serve and protect. From 10 p.m.
I saw that.
to 2 a.m. to make money off of broke college students.
Oh, yeah.
That's essentially what they're doing. Because, first of all, I think that they've got... The Iowa City Police Department clearly just has a beef specifically with Tristan Wirfs. Because they pulled him over for a DUI on his moped. Although that's kind of on him for having 3 players on his moped while drunk.
No, it was him and 2 chicks, I think.
Was it?
So good on him.
Yeah, that's for him. But then, yeah, in the bar, that's so bogus because literally you go into any bar in Iowa City, like during any of the seasons, they let all of like the basketball players and the football players in, and everybody in there knows goddamn well that Patrick McCaffrey's not 21, but they let him in, and he's getting VIP bottle service at Summit anyway. So, like, an officer has to make they go into that night with the mindset of, I'm just going to be an asshole to somebody on, like, one of the football or basketball teams. And, unfortunately, that's been worse twice.
Yeah, it's just an all-around stupid law. Like, if you're in there not doing anything, like, I'm sorry, I thought this was America. No, it's just a stupid law. Like, you go,
I love that.
You want to go and hang out with your friends or whatever, and they may be older than you, want to go to the bar or whatever. You shouldn't be penalized for wanting to do that. There's a shit ton of worse stuff you could be doing. And
Also, I can't
That
believe-
cop should have to like sumo wrestle Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah.
It's
I
kind
think
of hard to believe he's
that's
not
a law
21.
Be able to do just, if you get...
He's a true junior.
Yeah.
He just turned 20 in January.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, that should be a thing. If you get called out by a cop for being in the bar after 10 and you're not 21, you should just be able to sumo wrestle them for the rights to be able to stay in the bar. And if you win,
If you can handle a tase and not fall down, you can stay in the bar.
like
I'll never make
scope.
it.
Yeah, we should start making a list and mail it to the police department because these are good ideas. Let's keep this positive going.
yeah, so you guys think he'll be out week 1, Miami, Ohio?
He's definitely sitting out week
First
one.
half.
It'll be
It's his second.
Kirk seems pretty adamant on his. If you ever get in trouble with the law, it's a full game suspension. I mean, it happened.
It also could be 25 hours of community service and a fuck ton of running, but let's not piss him off because he's probably gone after this year, but off chance he comes back.
Yeah, I don't know. Just based on Kirk's history, I would be surprised if it was anything besides a full game suspension. But who knows? New Kirk. You don't know with him anymore.
Well,
He's loose.
I do like how he is strict when situations with the law arise because it kind of holds a certain amount of integrity to the program
Right.
as a whole. Which
It
so
keeps the moral standard for the team high, and everybody knows what they're getting out of him. It's a good thing to have. It just sometimes it sucks because he follows his word to the T. So, you know, he doesn't bend his rules because star players do something stupid. So, it's good, and it kind of sucks sometimes. But overall, it's good. It looks very good on the program as far as a national standpoint.
Yeah.
all right, I have one more question for you guys before we move on to a couple of our last segments here. It's so Michigan played in the College World Series, forced a Game 3 against Vanderbilt this past week, and the Big Ten hadn't won a natty in 50 years, I think it was. It was Ohio State back in the 60s. Were you cheering for Michigan?
Yes.
In the College World Series?
Yeah.
There's college baseball?
Whoa, easy. Rick Heller's already... He's
Kidding. Rick Heller's the GOAT. No, I wasn't. I couldn't care less. It's like,
Yeah, I just kind of really hate Michigan, so I was not.
Yeah, same. People were like, oh, why aren't you cheering for Michigan? They're from the Big Ten. I'm like, well, right behind Iowa State and Nebraska, Michigan's my third. Like, I cannot stand Michigan at all.
Kind kind of along the same lines of when some people are like, "Oh, well, I live in Iowa, and even though I'm an Iowa fan, I still cheer for Iowa State." No,
Why the fuck is
why
wrong
would I
with
cheer
you?
for them? I hate them. Everything that they stand for. Like they're your rivals. You're not supposed to only dislike your rival on the one day of the year that you play them. You hate them 24/7, and that's how I am with Michigan.
365.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to.
Hey, Sam's gotta go.
Oh, alrighty, Sam. Well, have fun tonight, buddy. Alrighty.
I hate
Okay.
you.
Okay. See ya. So now, me, Joey, and Austin. 4th of July coming up this week. We're gonna power rank our top 4 USA or America songs, patriotic songs, whatever you want to call it. But the caveat is that we're not putting in "God Bless the USA" by Lee Greenwood and "Courtesy of the Red, White, Blue" by Toby Keith, because I think we can all agree those are probably number 1 and 2.
Right. Yeah.
More or less.
We're not saying that we're not including them in the most patriotic songs because they're the most patriotic by and far. We're saying like we're elevating them to a new level. That way, like 2 slots for all of us aren't taken up by those 2 songs.
On the Mount Rushmore, they've graduated from power ranking to Mount Rushmore of most patriotic songs or best American songs. So
Yes. Okay.
they're engraved in stone.
So for our movie football player draft last week, the order was Austin, Joey, and then me third. So we'll just reverse that this week.
Well-
I'll start it off with my power rankings.
Well, I mean, there can be duplicates, right?
Yeah, there can be duplicates. It's not like it's a draft. It's
So
kind
order's
of
not really.
yeah, it's kind of like the Christmas movie rating we did around Christmas time, if you remember that. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to get it started here. My number 4 on the list is "It's America" by Rodney Atkins. It's not typically one you would think of, but I like it because it kind of just describes the story of being an American citizen, you know? I really like that one. Can sing along to it from time to time, but the 3 following this I can absolutely jam to any time of the year. We got "American Soldier" by Toby Keith. Just a nice homage to the troops there. I mean, Toby Keith, there isn't a more American country singer in the world. I mean,
That's true.
I can't-
Most of his songs are about America, right?
yeah, pretty much all of them, and they're pretty much all bangers. My next one, number 2 on the list, is
Number 2.
Number 2 is "Only in America" by Brooks and Dunn. Sun coming up over New York City. Just another good banger there. Brooks and Dunn actually has a lot of good songs too. Not all about America, but just a bunch of really.
This shouldn't come as breaking news to anybody, really.
Well, no, it shouldn't. But for the people who don't listen to country music, I mean, Brooks and Dunn, they just put out as good of music as anybody over the last 2 decades, 3 decades. And then my number 1 is "Made in America" by Toby Keith. The song just tells a really good story. I don't know. He talks about how his dad was born and raised on these United States principles and stuff, and how he doesn't really change, and how he's like proud to be an American. I don't know. Really like that one, because who isn't proud to be an American, you know?
No, well, some people aren't, but that's what we like to call terrorists.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
All right, Joey.
All right, so you want to just repeat your 4 just so everybody hears them?
Yeah, it's "America" by Rodney Atkins, "American Soldier" by Toby Keith, "Only in America" by Brooks and Dunn, and "Made in America" by Toby Keith.
Okay. So we're going to get it starting with the American song, the national anthem, of course. I prefer the Leanne Rimes version that I've had on my phone first.
I don't know. The Fergie version's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, Fergie version.
Let's play basketball.
It's a basketball. But anyway, then number 2, "America the Beautiful." Tough to argue that one, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So Joey's to the pandering point of his list.
What are you talking about? Then for my 3rd one, I also had "American Soldier." This song just gives me chills once in a while. And then finally, the 4th and most American song, I think, on any of our playlists, "Old Town Road" by Lil Nas X, Billy Ray Cyrus.
I don't really
Yeah,
see
only are you going to have a rap country mix be at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 12 straight weeks?
Hey, I think that might be what brings this country together.
Yeah, Pokemon Go tried to do it, but Old Town Road is succeeding.
Originally, it was Nelly and Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
But now we got Trey and Lil Nas, baby.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know about that one. That seems like a ridiculous choice.
You have to look at what it does for the culture, man. Culturally, that was great for America. It's gonna be tough to beat my list.
I mean, I can't believe you don't have Made in America on that list. Full disclosure,
well, you know what?
There's a lot of America songs to choose from.
It's my list. Okay.
All right, Stin.
I'll do with what I will.
Joey, what were your 4 again?
So we had national anthem, Leanne Rhymes, but really anybody can sing it well.
Besides Fergie.
Well, Fergie's at least got the entertainment value. So national anthem, America the Beautiful, American Soldier, and Old Town Road. Good luck, Austin.
Austin.
All right. With number 4, I'm gonna go with "Have You Forgotten." That's a deeply patriotic song, telling the story, or just telling people not to forget about 9/11. So yeah, that's a very good one on the list. At number 3, we're going to go. Oh man, I'm having a tough time slotting these. We're gonna go number 3. It's America, Rodney Atkins. That was on Luke's list as well. Solid, good song. Number 2, Only in America, Brooks and Dunn. So another repeat there. And then number 1 on the list, a classic all-time banger, Born in the USA.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. That's
Yeah.
good, sneaky good pick there. I
That
didn't
was
even.
on my.
Did you guys have any alternates?
Well, Born in the USA was one of mine.
Yeah, you can't leave Bruce Springsteen off this list. An alternate of mine was Pink Houses by John Mellencamp. That's a classic.
Mo Bamba was real close for me.
One that's kind of going along with Austin's "Have You Forgotten" pick is by Alan Jackson. It's "Where Were You?" Where were you when the world stopped turning? Yeah, no,
that's a good honorable mention.
Yeah, I like to listen to that one from time to time.
A real sad one, but patriotic, sort of, as If You're Reading This, Tim McGraw.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That came on the radio the other day, and that was
tearjerker.
Yeah.
Another couple that are kind of sad. Not really particularly about America, but about the soldiers was "Riding with Private Malone."
Yeah.
That song sends a chill up your spine.
Mm-hmm.
There was a
Traveling Soldier by the Dixie Chicks.
Yep.
All wonderful songs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we
can go on for quite some time with the patriotic songs list.
There's nothing like summertime and you put on just a patriotic playlist.
It's the best. You hear a bald eagle screech as it flies overhead.
One that's not directly about America, but pretty much sums it up. Redneck Yacht Club. Great song.
That's an all-time summer banger for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll put these power rankings up on Twitter again, like we did with the football drafts last week or last episode. But we're gonna move on to our final segment of the show here, and it's thoughts from space. And Austin has an update on Space Cowboy for us this week.
Yeah. So Space Cowboy had a little bit too much of a good time in lacrosse this past weekend. So thoughts from space are pretty abbreviated this week. It's my brain is broke and I'm still drunk, so I got nothing. Tell them I'm on vacation for America. And that's thoughts from space.
Yeah, well, I think we're actually going to have him on the show here for the next episode. So, or 2 episodes maybe it is, but
That can be
what?
Hugh's graduation party or what?
No, it's going to be because we're going down to the Polk City Parade on July 20th. I'm going to do some advertising in the parade, hand out bracelets, candy. So if you're in the Polk City area, down kind of by Des Moines, north of Des Moines there, coming out to the parade, yeah, you'll see our banners flying in the parade, and Might get some free stuff, so go and check it out there.
If you're really looking forward to seeing old Joe Mama there, just don't go because I'm in a wiffle ball tournament that day. So,
Yeah.
if that's what you were coming for, might as well stay home.
Joey, believe me, nobody was coming for you.
Well,
All right.
surprise.
You guys got any other thing you want to add?
Happy
Don't-
birth month, America.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Everybody, just party real hard on the 4th of July.
Responsibly.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yes. Don't drink any tea. If you find any, just like throw it into a pond or a river or something. Just that's like an extra America celebration that you can do. So I'd say go for that if you could.
That's wonderful.
RIP to everybody like myself that has to work on July 5th because then you can't celebrate the 4th as hard as you'd want to. So that sucks. Pour one out for all of those people. Yeah, I think that's about all I got.
It's not really pertaining to anything on the show, but just so everybody knows, I almost got sucked up by a tornado tonight on my way home. The Joey Myers era almost ended on June 30th, where it began. So
Yeah, well, I've been shooting this whole show without power, so it's kind of been.
Actually, and I do have one more thing to add too.
Yeah.
Today is June 30th. Shout out to Paul Myers, my dad. It's his birthday. Turned 55 today. So if anybody that listens sees him around in the next week, go ahead and give him a good happy birthday wish.
spanking.
55 spankings. Run a train on his ass. But thanks for listening to another episode of the Hawkeye Tailgate Report. Follow us on Twitter at @go_Hawks Iowa. Joey's Twitter is JoeMama2196. Austin Myers does not have a Twitter. Sam Middleton's Twitter is @SAMMMIDD. I'm not sure why he picked such an ignorant name. But as always, guys, thanks for listening, and go Hawks.